And he said, I got a story for you. It's great going out to dinner with him. One, he pays. And two, he always has a story. And I sat there and I tried to take notes for it. And I think it certainly deserves a telling. But I got to just sort of work it through in my head. It's about adoption. Because he was adopted, and I never knew that about him. And then his search through 23andMe to find his mother. I'll tell it now. So Fitz, he finds out from his parents that he's adopted, and he, starts to, after 23andMe, it begins to sort of create a little bit of an itch that wants to be scratched. Is, who is my mother? And I want to find her. Well, he finds out from his adopted parents that she was 14 years old, that she was given a tremendous amount of alcohol, and she was raped over on Alki on the beach. And she then put her young child, her baby boy, up for adoption at the age of 14. So now Fitz is in his 60s. And through 23andMe, he starts to do a little bit of digging around, and he's able to find who his birth mother is, and she's living in Tukwila. So he writes to her saying, I've had this wonderful life, and if you don't want to get in touch with me, I understand, but if you'd like to meet me, I would love to meet you. He finds out that this woman, his mother, who gave him up when she was 14, is an incredible human being. She was unable to have children, maybe because of what had happened to her there in Alki. But she went to an orphanage and she adopted a young little baby that had cerebral palsy. She said, that's my baby. And then she got another one as well. So she had two children. She raised them as best she could and was just an unbelievably big-hearted individual, constantly volunteering for things in the community. Everybody loved her. So after 6 months of receiving no letter back from her, he finally got a response. And she said, I would like to meet you. And he was nervous, of course, the night before, thinking, here's this woman that put me up for adoption after she was raped when she was 14. And now I know a little bit about her, but how will I react? And he was also concerned that his mother and father, the ones that adopted him, would be concerned. They said, no, go. Absolutely not. You are my baby, and I love you, and you go and you meet her, and I hope this brings you some closure. And he said he could hardly sleep the night before. 6 months in the waiting for her, all of his life waiting to meet his birth mother. And he gets a call in the morning as he's heading over to go meet her over at Alki. And she had died that night of a brain aneurysm. And he never met her.
Wow.
And he told me that, and I said, wow, so he's a religious guy. He's a faithful guy. And he goes, I don't know. I don't know why. But maybe it was the stress of meeting me and whatever it was. But I think she passed. She passed that night, just the night before, a few hours before they were to meet. He said, I went to the funeral. There was about 75 people there, and I walked in, and immediately people recognized me as that was her.
Wow.
That was her son. And he said, I was just enveloped into this community of these people that all knew my birth mother, and I felt part of it in a way, but to only be there at the funeral really was bittersweet. And he said, there's probably tons of stories about 23andMe and people meeting one another and the secrets of families revealed. And now people are concerned because 23andMe is going out of business. And some people are thinking that 23andMe, all that data is going to be taken and collected by the government. Did you hear that stuff?
Well, it can be bought by whoever kind of buys them out. But there's also people that are advocating you can go in and request that your DNA data be deleted.
Get it back.
You have to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know when Blockbuster went out of business, I asked for all the videotapes that I hadn't rewound. I wanted all of that back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.